Greetings and welcome back to Room 303 in Sophomore English. We are in the MyPerspectives volume. We are on page 327. We are in Unit 3, Extending Freedom's Reach. And we now turn to Maya Angelou's classic, Caged Bird. Now, there's so much that can be said about this text, and we want to focus specifically on the work of Unit 3. However, there is some background information that we want to make sure that we have in our notes, and let's set up our annotations. At level 1, what does the text say? Summary. At level 2A, what are the major messages or themes of this text? At level 2B, not what Angelou says, but how Angelou says it. And I want you to write down the power of a word picture or a metaphor, okay? What is it like to be a bird stuck in a cage and you can't get out, okay? At 3A, well, right away we're going to have some references to some of the other great poets who played around with this same word picture. We're going to finish, in fact, at 3A with the classic text, Sympathy by Paul Laurence Dunbar. And then finally, I'm going to challenge you to have a personal response to a text like this. Let's begin with some background information.
Caged Bird by Maya Angelou. Poetry. Background. This poem joins a number of others by important African American poets in which a caged or injured bird is a central image. For example, in Paul Laurence Dunbar's poem Sympathy, the speaker says, "I know what the caged bird feels, and I know why the caged bird sings." Likewise, in Langston Hughes's poem Dreams, life becomes a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. About the poet.
325.
Maya Angelou, born 1928, died 2014, was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and raised in a rural, segregated section of Arkansas. Growing up, she faced racial discrimination, but also learned strong values. As a single mother, she worked a wide array of jobs to support her family before discovering her talent as a writer. Angelou raised her voice during the Civil Rights Movement, speaking out for racial and gender equality. She received numerous awards for her work, including more than 50 honorary doctorates and the 2011 Presidential Medal of Freedom. Caged Bird
327.
by Maya Angelou. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends and dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn-bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom.
Now we want to point out right away the repetition of this brilliant poem. Notice we'll begin, first of all, not with the caged bird. Notice we'll begin with the free bird. And of course, maybe some of you were raised by parents who loved a song by a band called Leonard Skinner called Free Bird. Notice the free bird. I want you to pay attention to the verbs, and I want you to go through the poem really quickly and circle all the verbs. Leaps, floats, dips, dares, stalks, just to mention the first few. And then I want you to square all of the adjectives. Notice it's not a cage, it's a narrow cage, right? Notice it's not a trill, it's a fearful trill. So I want you to pay attention to the way in which Maya Angelou's selection of both her verbs and her adjectives make this poem so much more powerful as a word picture. Notice we'll begin by commenting on the free bird loves what? Well, it loves to fly, leaps on the back of the wind. It floats downstream till the current ends and dips his wing in the orange sun rays. Notice the word orange. And dares to claim the sky. Of course, the word dare is probably the central word of the poem. In other words, free birds don't know they're free. This is a huge observation for my Angelou. Free birds enjoy their freedom without recognizing that they are free. But, key word, let's put a square around it. A bird that stalks, notice, kind of sounds like walks, only stalks with those hard S sounds, down his narrow cage, can seldom see. You hearing all these S sounds? She learned this from her study of Emily Dickinson, the great American poet. Can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied. So he opens his throat to sing. By the way, let's point out, bars can't be bars of rage, can they? And, obviously, singing and music has musical bars. So you have the image of the cage. Of course, prison comes to mind immediately, right? And all of the civil rights protesters, like Martin Luther King Jr., who would be placed in jail. Of course, King will write his most famous letter from a Birmingham jail. We'll study it together next year as juniors. She keeps going now with the caged bird, sings with a fearful trill, that is to say, the note, right, of things unknown, but longed for still. Circle the word still. She'll use it several times in this poem. And his tune is heard on the distant hill. So notice, birds that are free fly over the distant hill. This kind of bird can only sing about the distant hill. For the caged bird sings of freedom. Notice the return back to his throat to sing. Now it sings of freedom. Then we jump back to the free bird. So you can see what she's doing here, right? She's comparing. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn. Notice it's fat worms. And he names the sky his own. Notice the last line of the first stanza, dares to claim the sky. In other words, free birds, again, get to enjoy the blessings of being free. But, one more time, the caged bird stands, again, the repetition, on the grave of dreams. Now, obviously, Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech immediately comes to mind at 3A. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. Again, hear all these S sounds. His wings are clipped. His feet are tired. Again, with the repetition. So he opens his throat to sing. The only thing he can do is sing, because he's having freedom. To finish now the repetition, the caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but longed for still. And his tune is heard on the distant hill. For the caged bird sings of freedom. Again, the repetition of the third stanza. Well, what's our point here? What are we going to say about this poem in regards to messages at 2A? Well, again, freedom is so precious. But when we have it, we don't really respect it. Until we read something like this and we go, oh yeah, you know what, you're right. It's a great blessing to have freedom. Of course, the word picture at 2A, I told you to concentrate on that one. It's a powerful one, especially the use of the word bars, because she's talking about music. And of course, musical bars, and obviously a cage of bars. At 3A, well, we mentioned Paul Laurence Dunbar's classic Sympathy. Let's enjoy this poem. I know what the caged bird feels, alas, when the sun is bright on the upland slopes, when the wind stirs soft through the springing grass and the river flows like a stream of glass, when the first bird sings and the first bud opes and the faint perfume from its chalice steals, I know what the caged bird feels! Exclamation point. I know why the caged bird beats his wing till its blood is red on the cruel bars, for he must fly back to his perch and cling when he fain would be on the bough swing, and a pain still throbs in the old scars, and they pulse again with a keener sting. I know why he beats his wing. I know why the caged bird sings, ah me. When his wing is bruised and his bosom sore, when he beats his bars and he would be free. It's not a carol of joy or glee, but a prayer that he sends from his heart's deep core, but a plea that upward to heaven he flings. I know why the cage bird sings. I know why the cage bird sings, by the way, will be Maya Angelou's classic autobiography. It is must reading if you haven't enjoyed it. Finally, at 3B, to own a poem like this, Caged Bird. What do you want to say about freedom? What do you want to say about your ability to enjoy that freedom? And to what degree have you maybe taken it for granted? Thank you.